Welcome back to Toffee Booze, your source for all things Everton. I'm Ollie Hayes, and today I'm bringing the Everton news 24/7 for the 27th of January. So let's get straight into it. And obviously, just over a week to go now until the end of the January transfer window. So, unsurprisingly, that's the main focus of today's news. But we'll start with the headline, and it comes from the Mail Sport, and they've reported that Everton are lurking to sign Ben Chilwell, with Crystal Palace, West Ham, and Manchester United also all interested. Again, on interesting bingo. Lurking is definitely a new one I've heard, but we'll focus on the rumour, and it's obviously of Ben Chilwell. And we asked your thoughts on an X poll. A rumour that keeps popping up, and over 3,000 votes on that vote. And 68% were in favour, 14% unsure, and 18% were against Ben Chilwell joining the football club. Again, it's one that keeps propping up. It's one that keeps swirling in the rumour mill this window. Obviously, it does massively depend on what we do with Armando Broja. Again, he seems to be injured towards the end of March, start of April. So, again, if we can cancel his loan and come to an agreement with Chelsea, I think that's how that one will take place. But obviously, we do face some competition from some decent sides there, mainly Manchester United and West Ham. So again, it will be probably a difficult one to pull off, but I think I'd be quite happy with it. Obviously, Vitaly Mykolenko has struggled in recent weeks. I think he's brought his form a little bit back under David Moyes. He was definitely struggling towards the back end of the Sean Dyche tenure. So again, I think it's just healthy competition for places, and it's an interesting one because it keeps propping up. But elsewhere on incomings, Tutto Sport over in Italy, they've reported that Everton is set to sign Sparta Prague and Ecuador midfielder Angelo Preciado for €5 million. Again, reading comments on him, he seems to be quite a versatile player, can play in midfield, can play at fullback. So again, it would be just an extra body in the door. I think that's probably one of the biggest things at the moment, especially how we've fared with injuries. We've got a few players out of the squad now. So he's featured quite a lot this season in the UCL, in the Champions League for Sparta Prague. So again, it shows that he's got decent pedigree. But we do probably have to take this one with a little bit of a pinch of salt, as the source probably isn't as reliable as others. But again, it's probably one to just keep an eye on because it's one that's cropped up in the summer as well. It's probably a long-standing interest from Everton. So again, probably one to keep an eye on with the last week of the transfer window ticking over. But another reported interest and potential incoming for Everton is Hamza Igerman from Rangers. A lot of you will know him. He's been doing quite well in the Europa League this season for Rangers. That's Tutto Sport and Graham Bailey both reporting that one. And they've both reported that we had scouts watching Rangers 3-1 win over Dundee United on Sunday afternoon. So again, it's a striker. I think we probably know why strikers are being linked in this last week of the window, because of our current injury situation up front. Obviously, Betto is the only current fit striker at the football club. I must admit, I did think this link would come up this window, regardless of the injury situation. I think he's a player that's been doing very well for Rangers. He's a player that would probably suit our profile of club quite well. Obviously, 13 goals and 3 assists in all competitions this season for Rangers is quite good numbers, especially when you look at his numbers in the Europa League as well. I think he probably would be quite a good fit for Everton. But again, it does lead us on quite nicely to the next rumour, and that's surrounding Betto. Obviously, I did say before that he is our only fit striker, but Tutto Sport have reported this afternoon that negotiations between Everton and Torino have resumed on Sunday evening surrounding Betto. Obviously, the striker's not likely to feature in David Moyes' plans. I think that's probably been made quite clear now. Obviously, he wouldn't have featured at all against Brighton, probably, if Dominic Calvert-Lewin didn't get injured. Whether this changes now due to the injury situation, maybe this is, maybe we have to be precautionary and see Beto stay maybe to the summer. I'm not so sure. A lot of you will know and have watched me for a while will know that I quite like Beto. I think I wanted to stay at the football club. Whether that's blind optimism, I'm not so sure. But I do think one day with a good run in the team, I think he can come good. But it does seem now that I think his time at Everton is slowly coming to an end, and it does seem like the exit is very much possible this window, if not in the summer. But again, after today's news, you've got to keep an eye on that one. That's one that definitely could materialise in the last week of this window. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see a different striker in Beto's shirt come the end of the 3rd of February. But finally, we'll move away from the transfer window in today's news, and we'll focus on our vacant CEO role. And Mail Sport have reported that a recruitment firm are heading up the search for a new CEO. So Paul Barber of Brighton, Vinay Venaketcham, and Alistair McIntosh are all names that have been banded around. Again, we just really hope for a swift resolution to this one, because a functioning football club should not have a vacant CEO role. Obviously, Colin Chong has done such a good job in the last year, papering over the cracks left by the Farhad Moshiri reign, and really keeping things together regarding the stadium and things like that. But a full-time CEO is probably what we need to move forward now. So fingers crossed we can get a swift resolution to that one. But as reported by Mail Sport, there is a recruitment firm heading up that process. So fingers crossed we can get that done fairly swiftly. But that is all for today's news on the 27th of Jan. Let me know your thoughts on the potential incomings of obviously Hamza Igaman and also Ben Chilwell. But then also, what do you think about Betto potentially leaving before the end of this window? Let me know all your thoughts in the comments. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and I'll speak to you soon.